Hello and welcome everyone. It is time for Jim Comics Top Picks for New Comic Book Day this upcoming Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019. We have got another good week of books coming out. Man, oh man, is there some good stuff coming out this week. We'll get into that briefly. What a time to be collecting. I've said it a few times. Right now is such a good time to be collecting comics. There is so much good stuff coming out. So many first appearances, key storylines. Marvel is real, especially Marvel right now. They're really working in the whole multiverse thing and connecting everything up, which we'll get into in a bit. But I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers on YouTube and followers on Instagram. I really appreciate all the comments, tips, theories you come up with, questions. It's all awesome. I love it. So thank you so much to everybody. Love being part of this community. I say it every week, and I really mean it. If you need to get a hold of me, I keep forgetting to do this, but I am on Instagram, and I'm going to put an image of my logo there. It's just at Jim Comics, singular Jim Comics. There is a guy out there who, of course, started a YouTube or an Instagram page calling himself Jim's Comics. What an ass clown, but whatever. I'm Jim Comics with the Ghost Rider logo. That's me. If you want to get a hold of me, send me a message, whatever. I'll get back to you usually pretty quickly. A lot quicker than YouTube just because I have my phone with me most of the time. You can also get a hold of me at email. It's just jimcomics1844 at gmail.com. So if you happen to win a contest, which I'm going to give the contest winner for Cyclist in just a second, get a hold of me that way. That way I can get your address and everything, and it's not public to the whole world. So anyways, thank you everybody. I want to also remind you that Key Collector Comics still has the 1 week free trial with them, with Nick and his app. It's a great app. I say it every time. I use it all the time, and I really like the updates on there, which is really a kind of a key feature of that. And a good thing is he's going to be at Comic Tommy at a point of this that Nick's going to be at the New York Comic Con next weekend. And if you're going to try the free trial, wait till at least wait till Monday, so that the 1 week free trial runs right through the weekend, and you get all the updates from the comic. Because Nick will be at the Comic Con, and then he'll be just sending updates. As soon as he gets the info, it's out there on his app, which is a really cool feature of it. So yeah. Anyways, Jim Comics, you get the 1 week free trial. Great app. Nick's a knob, so make sure if you get in touch with him, you tell him that. Or if you see him at New York Comic Con, say, "Hey Nick, Jim says you're a knob." He'll like to know that you feel that same as I do. Anyways, I just talked about this free comic draw. A couple weeks ago I mentioned in my top picks video I was going to give one away, and did a random draw through the YouTube random drawing on the comments. Man, is that way easier than I used to go and write down the names of everybody, put them in a bowl, and pick out it took hours. I mean, now it's like 5 seconds, so I love it. Anyways, the winner is Tyler Colony. Congrats, you're the winner of Cyclist number 1. Send me an email, like I say, to my jimcomics1844@gmail.com. Let me know your address and everything else, and I'll mail that off to you. I got to go to the mailbox this week, so it'll get mailed out this week. If you get a hold of me the next day or two, I will mail it this week. So that's that. Comic shop shout out today. I've mentioned them before. Black Cape Comics. I bought a few things from them in the past. You remember that Rejected by Esteban Celine? It's like, oh man, what a holy smoking hot cover that was. They get a lot of really cool exclusives. They're in Waterville, Maine. They're a smaller store. They do have a brick and mortar store and also an online. They sell online as whatever. But the really cool thing is I've never met the guy. I bought from him a few times, but they've got really good customer service. Everything gets packaged nicely in Gemini mailers, which I really like because some people don't do that. Most shops do, but not all of them. So you get good service. Things are packed well. And I talked to him and told him, hey, I'm going to give your shop a shout out. He said, hey, you know what, let everybody know that he's having a sale right now. And on top of that, if you enter the code JIM10 at your checkout, you'll get an additional 10% off anything in the store. So slab booked shirts, toys, comics, whatever. The only thing it doesn't include is any exclusives they have, because they do have some exclusives. And holy crap, I'm going to show you one in a second that's coming up next in just a couple days. You're going to want to get. But anyways, Black Cape Comics. Looks like a cool store in Maine. Yeah, down in the comments will be the address, phone number. If you're in the area, give them a call, set up a pull list, stop in, say hi. Yeah, it looks like a really cool store. Like I say, they've been I've only ordered a couple things from them, and it's always come in really nice shape, and they got great customer service, which I really appreciate. So, yeah, Black Cape Comics. And talking about them, Esteban Salinas, he does a lot of the. You've seen a lot of his covers. Like I said, that Rejected Unwilling cover. Holy smoking hell, was that hot! He's got a really cool one. I'm going to show it on the screen right now. This is exclusive through Black Cape Comics. The discount does not apply to this, but man, oh man, it's Beyond the Demon, the Sea #1. There's only 150 of these available. It goes up for sale Tuesday, October 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And oh, good Lord, as soon as I saw that, all I said was, "Holy shit, is that nice?" That's all I can say. I don't know what else to say. It's just like, that is one of the nicest covers I've ever seen, and good Lord, if you want that, you need to get on that one fast, because like I say, there's only 150 of those, and it's only available through Black Cape. So anyways, I saw that and I crapped myself. I think the price on that's like $22 or $23, so it's not like a super pricey book. It's actually priced pretty well considering there's only 150 of them. I don't know about the book. For me, it sounds like a story. It's a nautical story told through images of tattoos and stuff, so it sounds kind of interesting. But I definitely want to get that book. Man, oh man, does that look nice. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because that is some really cool stuff. Going to talk about show a few books I picked up this past week just because I didn't have time to do a haul video. Just a quick update. I am off work for a few weeks now, so I may actually get a haul video out next week, but we'll see how it goes. Picked up my Psycho List #2. Really enjoyed the story, and the art was really good, and it's a super low print run. Man, is that a low print run. One of my picks last week was The Plot. I got the regular cover A. I got the homage cover and cover C. I know there's a couple, there's an exclusive cover. There's a Witching Hour homage cover, and then there's, I think, a Comic-Con cover or something. But anyways, I got these three that my store had, and man, they're nice. And that's a good story, too. I like that one. I really like those kind of horror stories. Kind of what I'm working on with my stuff. It's taking me longer than I thought it would, but it's coming along there. So anyways, hold tight, folks. I'm not going to go through all the books I got, but from DC, I did pick up a few from them. I got my Batman Curse of the White Knight #3, and the interesting thing in this one, I don't know if you read it or not, but Harley's pregnant. I mentioned that in issue 2, you found out she was pregnant, and in this one, she's down in the where they find the dead body, that ancient body that died or whatever, and she's about to give birth. So I don't know if next issue she gives birth, and it sounds like twins. So that, it'd be interesting to see what happens there. But anyways, and I got my I did get my Harleen, of course, #1. I haven't read it yet. Pretty cool looking cover though. I don't like these magazine size books that they put out, but hey, what am I gonna do? Grab my Dead Man Logan #11, because that one has your this came out, I want to say not this week but the week before. I picked it up this week, and that has Danny Cage picks up Mjolnir and becomes Thor, which is kind of interesting. I got a bunch of the Absolute Carnage books. Not a whole lot happened there. Picked up my Marvel Comics Presents #9, and this #5 and 6, where you got the first kind of cameo in 5 and first full appearance in 6 of Wolverine's daughter. I don't know if it's Rian or Rain. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I kind of like Rain better. But anyways, this is kind of the conclusion of that story. And in this book, the cool thing is she's now, kind of the argument has been, oh, she's different. It's not in Marvel continuity and blah, blah, blah. Well, now it is. She's in Marvel continuity, and it's confirmed that it's her daughter. So 5, especially 6, is a really good book to own, because likely she's going to be showing up somewhere down the road too. I got cover B, and the really cool thing, I like this cover because you've got kind of a glimpse of the future of Marvel. You got Namor, and I don't know if this is just a drawing. I mean, obviously it's a drawing, but I don't know if it's an actor they've already got picked or signed to play Namor, because I mean there's rumors that Keanu Reeves is going to do it or whatever. But you got Spider-Woman, you got it's kind of cool, you got an image of Deadpool. It's almost like they're saying he's under wraps right now, and you got Spider-Man with the bag of money, and then they just signed the whole Spider-Man deal this week with with Sony, which means they're going to have some more movies and everything else, which is kind of cool. And this one's kind of interesting. You got the two Iron Man. It's like one's dying, and then you're going to have a new Iron Man replacing the old one. So I still think Riri Williams is coming, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, this Marvel Comics Presents run is a good one to get, especially 5 and 6 if you don't have them. But anyways, got my Powers at 10, number 5. Got a couple copies of cover A. Got the Decades variant, and then I got the Huddleston. Try to pick up all those Huddleston variants if I can. Got Mr. Sinister on the cover, you know, with my X-Men in the background there. Man, everything X-Men is so hot right now. It's just the way it goes. But anyways, we'll get into what I'm looking at this week. Some really good stuff. Holy cow. Well, not a ton of indies I'm looking at, but we got some good ones. From Ablaze Comics, you got Vampire State Building number 1. This is one I recommend you get. Somebody asked me, hey, Jim, do you think this comic's worth picking up? I said, yeah, it definitely is. Charlie Adlard, who was the artist for Walking Dead, is the artist on this series. It's going to be a low print run. It's got 4 covers. I don't know if all shops, you know, a lot of shops may not be bringing it in. They may, I don't know. But it looks like a really good one. And with Adlard behind it as well, it's worth getting a copy or two, because it is going to be a lower print run. I don't know what it'll be. I'm guessing probably around 10,000, which is pretty darn low for a comic. So anyways, that looks really good. I get that for sure. From Boom, again, Boom's putting out some really good stuff right now. Once and Future 1, this series is just so good. Number 1, the 6th and final printing is out this week. I thought it was out a couple of weeks ago, but it's actually this week. So the 6th and final printing is out. This should be not too hard to find. I think this one, the numbers were pretty high on it, so still going to grab a copy. And number 2, the 2nd print is out this week. So those are ones I'm definitely going to try getting. Something is Killing the Children, number 1. Another good series. It's going to a 4th printing, and that is out this week. And then Strange Skies over East Berlin, number 1 is out this week. And there's 2 covers for that one. And that looks like a cool story. It's kind of set in the 80s, and it's, you know, dealing with the Berlin Wall and trying to get out East Berlin, and I don't know if it's a spaceship that crashes or something, but it looks pretty interesting. I like those types of stories, so I'm getting that one for sure. From Image, you got 2 titles from them. You got Die number 8, 2 covers for that. Stephanie Hans is doing some nice covers for this series, and that's a really good series. And remember, the writer for Die is the same one that's doing Once and Future, so you know, that's Once and Future is a definitely good one to get. But Die number 8's been a good series, so that is out. And finally, we got Dead Eyes number 1, which used to be Dead Rabbit. So if you got your Dead Rabbit 1 and 2, hang on to those, because those are good ones to hang on to. Obviously, collectible kind of things. And what am I trying to say here? Well, yeah, Dead Eyes number 1 is I'm not 100% sure. I kind of read somewhere that I think because they're basically relaunching. I don't know if it's continuing. I don't think it's continuing it like it were number 3 would be. I think what this one is a relaunch of issues 1 and 2 in this book, from what I understand. And then the next issue will continue on, but I could be wrong. They could just be putting issue 1 in this, and then they'll have Dead Eyes number 2, and then, you know, so on and so forth. But we'll find out. But anyways, it looks. I love that series, so definitely picking that one up. Recommend it. From DC, only got 2 titles from them. Batman number 80. 2 covers. I'm only going to grab cover A and probably just 1 copy. Tom King, man, he had me back, and then he sucked me back in, and then the last 2 issues were just brutal. So I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, and then we got Justice League 33. 2 covers for that one. Continuation of this whole Perpetua Justice League Doom thing, and Lex Luthor and his offer to all the evil people and everything else. You're the villain. Been pretty decent so far. That's it from DC. From Marvel, Absolute Carnage, Immortal Hulk number 1. Been loving Immortal Hulk, and it'll be interesting to see what Al Ewing's writing this, which is kind of interesting. So I'm hoping it's going to be good. And then there's a regular cover A. The one that really everybody seems to be going crazy over is the 1 for 25. Who did that one? Is that a Keown variant? I think it's Keown. Yeah, it's a Keown Codex variant with that Venom Hulk on the cover. I still think the previous one with the design variant from the previous week was the one to own, but that is a nice looking cover, I will say. And then you got a couple Inhuck Lee 1 for 50 and 100 covers for that one as well. Daredevil number 12, 2 covers for that one. I'm really enjoying the series. This is one of those ones that's kind of flown under the radar. A lot of people, I don't think they're reading it, but it's really good. And it's funny that there's a tie between this. If you were reading, oh man, the Masked Raider there, he saw Daredevil and Elektra training on a rooftop, which was really interesting. And it sounds like Daredevil's going to get brought into that whole storyline with the Masked Raider and the Eternity Mask. So really cool. But anyways, I'm really liking Daredevil. That is out this week. We'll probably find a little bit more about who's under that mask that the Daredevil. I think it's going to be Frank Castle, quite honestly, but we'll see. Ghost Rider number 1, relaunching that this week. Ton of covers for this one. I'll let you pick what you want. I don't know. There's some good ones in there. There's some so-so ones. I'm probably just going to grab cover A. House of X number 6, man. If you're not buying this, I don't know what to tell you. It is absolutely is the best thing, one of the best things out there right now. I put it on the same level as Immortal Hulk and Venom. It's just great. Jonathan Hickman has done an amazing job with this series. There's a ton of covers again for this week. And I'm like I mentioned in my last video, I'm really suspecting that the Horsemen of Apocalypse are going to show up. I don't know if it's going to be in this issue or the next issue, or in the X-Men run somewhere, but they're definitely coming, and I can't wait for that. And you know, every time one of these comes out, something happens, and it is just so good. So that is definitely out this week. Make sure you pick that up. Immortal Hulk 24 is out this week. And I don't know if you had a chance to read on, if you go to Previews World, there's actually a 6-page preview. I'm going to put a image of it on the screen, and it's really interesting that they're tying Gallon of Ta, who becomes Galactus at the end of the multiverse, the previous or the iteration of the universe, I should say. They're tying the Hulk and his creation with the gamma rays to Galactus, as well as the Fantastic Four. Like, they're all connected somehow. And then the next, in 25, the Hulk goes cosmic. So they're really expanding the characters in the Marvel Universe from being just the Hulk for years was just running around beating people up and smashing things and whatnot. And he sometimes went off and did some adventures here and there, but the way that they're really expanding all these characters with the multiverses and linking them all. And one of the books I read this past week, I can't remember which one, it had the multiverse map in it. Like, they're really trying to get everybody used to the idea that in the past, a character would come along and you'd hear the argument, that character isn't in continuity. No, it's not in continuity. Well, now it doesn't matter, because with all these different multiverses linked together, everything is in continuity now. So don't, just because a character, some people say they're not continuity, man, don't pay attention to that. If you're interested in that character, pick up a copy of the book, because everything is connected now, and they're all going to be, they will find a way to bring them all into movies and everything else, and just like they're bringing Conan into the, so it's just awesome. I'm rambling on here, but Immortal Hulk 24 out this week. There's 4 covers for it. It looks really good, and I'm still thinking we're going to find out a little more about Del Fry. I know Wolf Warner, my man Wolf Warner, he's been on Jackie McGee since issue 1, saying she's going to be something important, and I agree with him. I think she's going to become Immortal Reporter. I said that before. I think she's going to become something. Because if you remember back when they were in Hell, you had the 3 people that showed up in Hell were Rick Jones. You had who became obviously the new Abomination. Now he's kind of become his own character there. You had General Ross, who his grave has been dug up and he's gone now. Something's going to happen with him. And then you had Jackie McGee's dad showed up in Hell as well. So there's something coming with that. I don't know what it is, but man, if you stop buying Immortal Hulk, you better get back on it quick, because some really good stuff is coming. Marvel Comics 1001, we got 4 covers of that. I'm going to grab a couple of the cover A. And like I showed in my previous video there, it's really cool. Hickman had that 1-page story that talked about Apocalypse resurrecting the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and I'm definitely picking this up to see if there's any more with that. So that's out this week. And then Spider-Verse number 1, 4 covers for that one. That is out this week. And I just read a really interesting article from CBR talking about how there's a possibility, now it's all speculation at this point, but there's a possibility of Spider-Man, so Sony and Marvel kind of coming into agreement, and there's going to be more movies and everything, as you know, you knew that was going to happen with all the money on the table. But it sounds like they're really going to be linking a lot of these Spider-Verse characters in, and it seems like every time they have one of these Spider-Verse miniseries, there's always a few new characters that pop up in there, so they are definitely worth picking up. So that is out this week. Got 4 covers for that. And just a quick note that House of X #1 has a 4th print this week, as well as Powers of 10 #1 has a 4th print this week. So those look to be some good ones. As far as my covers, I only got 4 that I'm really kind of liking right now. Got Absolute Carnage, Immortal Hulk. You got that 1 for $25 Keown Codex cover. That is a really nice cover. Man, the price is really heated up on that. I am not paying the prices people are asking. If I find it, you know, for around ratio, I might get it, but I ain't paying $100 for it. And then the 1 for 50 and 1 for 100 in Huck Lee for the same book. One's a trade and one's a virgin, so that's a nice looking cover. I like the 1 for 25 better. Deceased #5 has a couple really nice covers. There's a Josh Middleton cover, which is really nice. And then there's a Mattina cover with Harley Quinn looking all batshit crazy and zombified and everything. That looks really cool. So that is it for my covers. For my picks this week, got Vampire State Building #1 from Ablaze Comics. That one looks pretty good. And like I say, Charlie Adler, he's involved in that. Can't go wrong with that. House of X #6, I don't think I need to tell you that. This has been a great series, and if you have not been buying this since issue 1, you are absolutely missing out on a classic run. This is going to be a series that will be sought after for years. So if you're missing any issue, now is the time to pick them up while they're still relatively cheap, because I have a feeling this is going to be one of those ones that they are not going to go down. They're just going to keep slowly creeping up and creeping up and creeping up over the years. So if you're missing them, pick them up. Immortal Hulk 24, another really good one. And this, I have a really good feeling about this issue. I think there's some big stuff coming in this issue, so definitely grab that one. Got Dead Eyes #1 from Image Comics. Finally, they're relaunching that Dead Rabbit series. It was a good series, so that is a really good one. Once and Future 1, you got your 6th print, as well as #2 2nd print is out this week. So those are some books I am looking at this week. Real quick, I know there was a bunch of buzz about Madam Web and Amazing Spider-Man 210. This is kind of a beat up copy. I got another one somewhere. I can't find it. I don't know. It's in one of my boxes somewhere. But it's funny. This was a book that was a $5 book for at the most for years and years, and nobody, you know, it was a cool character. And I've passed by so many of these and I didn't do anything with it, but hey, what are you going to do? But it's one of those ones, if you're out in the digging around in the back issue bins, pick it up. Nick mentioned this on his app, that What If the X-Men #1, this just came out, I want to say earlier this year, if I remember right. It's the first X-Men, and it's interesting that in the Marvel Comics Presents #9 that just came out, there's the backup story, and that one is involving Wolverine, and it's again that X-Men. It's almost like it's a way that they get into the digital world, almost kind of like the Matrix in a way. It's almost like their phone that they get into the Matrix with. Is this gene, or this the X gene, I guess. And it's interesting. I'm wondering if that's how they're going to defeat the Phalanx, is through this X gene somehow getting into their system and frying them somehow. So we'll figure that out. I know that Giant Size Defenders #3 has been. I've shown this one before, and it's been on the Key Collector for a while, because that's your first appearance of Korvac. And it's really interesting that all of a sudden now in the new Marvel Previews book, they've got this coming out as a True Believers copy. And they mentioned that Korvac has a big future right in the solicitation. So that's a book. It's a good one to get if you can find it. It's not cheap anymore. And then one last one I had was it was the Simpsons Comics and Stories issue #1. This is the one that's sealed in a polybag and has a poster in the back. It's your first appearance of Simpsons in comics, so it's a really good one to get. It's pretty inexpensive. It's just I just get this weird feeling that at some point they're going to do. I know the Simpsons have been on TV for years and years and years, so it's not like, you know, them being on TV or something is going to be a big huge deal. But I know there's been a movie in the past, but I wouldn't doubt that they do animated, like a Toy Story type of animated movie of The Simpsons, which would be really cool. And if they do this, this is a good one to have. It's more of a, like I say, don't expect this to ever be worth a whole lot, but it's just kind of a cool one to have, your first Simpsons and comics. So anyways, folks, that is it for you this week. Some really good stuff coming out. Oh shoot, I want to talk one more thing. Hang on. I got, what the heck, I wrote it down here. Oh damn it, maybe I covered it already. Oh, I did already. Yeah, it's all good. And just in the background I had, you know, just because everything X-Men is so hot, I've showed my 221. That's your first full appearance of Mr. Sinister. You got your cameo of Mr. Sinister in 213, and then your first cover appearance with 239. Pulled those out of the... I remember buying these off the shelf. Geez, I wish I'd bought... It's funny, you know, back in the day I bought X-Men, but I only bought one copy of each issue just because I liked the X-Men, but I was more of a Spider-Man fan at the time. Man, I'm kicking myself, but hey, what are you going to do? Anyways, that's it this week, folks. Take care. Happy hunting. Talk to you later in the week. Hopefully I'll have a haul video out this week. And to Mr. Colony, remember, send me an email with your address and everything else, and I'll get that book mailed off to you. Congrats on winning that. Take care, everyone. Happy hunting. Bye for now.